Hey everybody, and welcome back to the back nine of the PDGA Disc Golf World Championships. This is Dynamic Disc coverage. In the booth today, we've got Robert McCall, that's me, and then we've got Zach Melton, who's looking good today. The fro is strong to quite strong.
Oh yeah, I've picked it out.
We got some fantastic competitors on the card today. Barry Shultz coming in 2 under par after the front nine. Risley with 2 over par. A couple bogeys for him. And we've got Brian Earhart sitting at 3 under par, as well as Chris Dickerson 3 under par. They're heading to a more attackable portion of the course, so we expect to see some birdies and some good looks.
Yeah, they're all hanging in there. They're keeping it within play. Hole 10, 450 feet. This is, like you said, in that stretch of holes where you really want to start picking up some birdies back on Eureka. So,
I mean, this is, you can throw less than driver here depending on the wind. Even though it says 450, plays a little downhill. I think we could see a lot of guys taking, fairway driver or something in that hybrid range.
Yeah, Chris is throwing an H3 V2. Probably turned it a little more than he wanted.
Yeah, I mean, that's safe and fine, but he's going to be disappointed with that tee shot.
Absolutely. There is OB to the left, and there are bushes to the right, but the bushes are pretty easy to scramble from. So this one's very attackable.
And look at that Anheuser force from Barry. I mean, is that for the angle, or is that because that's what he wants to get extra distance?
I think it's him wanting to get extra distance, but I just have to say, is that good?
I mean, that's, yeah.
Is that good?
Just 100% parked it. Trusting that Anheuser angle, I feel like so many players now are so strong and can throw hyzer so far that you don't see a lot of technical kind of flex shots like that in the open.
Yeah, here in the last few years, I've seen Barry kind of go to that shot a little bit more, and I think it's just easier to get 450 feet that way than having to throw a really hard hyzer.
He just did it beautifully. So I believe this is Zeus for Earhart. That's covered a lot of distance. He's going to be putting from circle 2.
Yeah, because of that spike angle, he really didn't get any skip or ground play.
Yeah.
He just kind of stuck up there, but...
Forcer for Risley, and you can see the wind on his shirt. A little bit more than I think they'd probably practiced with.
He's over there hanging out with Brian, his best bud. Chris throwing an upshot, not what he planned on doing, I bet. But walk away with that par.
Yeah, as a competitor, I feel like you throw a shot like that on a hole that you want to get, and you're thinking, like, what if I just run it, though? Like, what if I just make it? But Chris sticking with a smart play, just put it under the basket.
I think Brian's from about 50?
Brian's from Cashtown.
Yeah, let's go.
Population.
He's like, hey, look
Brian.
at my shirt. Look at my shirt, it's cool.
Check it out.
Game face when he turned around. Did
I
you
got
see
some
that?
Zubaz pants to go along with it. And wide right for Risley. Risley's putt is one of those that doesn't have a lot of left to right movement, so it's pretty much just straight line. If it starts on line, it's probably going to make it. Oh, and that also didn't start on line. Maybe a bit of a rush from AJ?
Maybe. Looks like it was just a little left.
Yeah.
And actually, I think Barry, that possibly could have been the new Corvette.
Okay.
I know he was messing around with it a little bit earlier this year when I played with him in Savannah.
Yeah. Yeah, so high speed, overstable.
Kind of neutral.
Okay, cool.
It's got a little bit of fade on it.
Cool.
Hole 11 comes in at 300 feet, which I think it plays a little less than that. But we have OB left, OB right, OB deep. Shortest hole in the course, and you really want to get it, but OB everywhere.
Yeah, that's correct. We'll see a bunch of forehands from the field that have it, as it's a great shape for this hole. But this is going to be Barry just throwing probably an ABR. Just a little turnover. He's going to be inside circle 2 there.
Yeah, he probably wanted to throw it a little harder, but...
I would assume this is zone from Earhart.
It is. Oh, it hit that hit the stake that may have stayed in bounds, I think. Chris with an A2, I believe.
And no ground action on that. And this will be Warden turnover for Risley. Nice and high with a late turn. This is a beautiful flight. A little bit long, but in a good spot.
Good throw from AJ. Really trusting his disc angle and the flight, and just gave it the height to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Long look for Dickerson. Finishes left. Same fate for Barry, though. He finds the headband there. Oh, and Earhart is out
Brian
by
hit the stake
an
and went
inch.
out. Wow.
Brutal. So he's still going to be in for his par, but that hurts after throwing what felt like a good tee shot. And Risley out of
no.
And OB out of his hand knew that was not what he was looking for, but hurts to get punished like that.
Yeah.
So from birdie to bogey, just like that. Another overstroke for Risley. We'll have a couple of cleanups for par here. And there's a long walk over to one of the, I don't know if you'd call it an iconic hole, but it's certainly one that people think of here.
When you order from Dynamic Discs, we do our best from start to finish. First, we receive your order from the website and print out the packing slip detailing the specific items you selected. Then, your order is pulled directly from the shelves, packed in a cardboard box to prevent bending during transit, and quickly on its way to you with free shipping. For every purchase online with Dynamic Discs, you'll receive rewards points so you can save on your next order. We'll work with you to make sure you get the exact disc you're looking for. For anything from Dynamic Discs, Latitude 64, or Westside Discs, head to dynamicdiscs.com.
Okay, guys, we're here at Lake Eureka, hole 12. It's a par 3, 354 feet uphill. It's the famous water tower hole. There's a section of inbounds that you can lay up if you want to. It's about 250 feet off the tee, but most people play for the island. Plays like 400 feet uphill power, and if you want to go for it, that's what you got to do.
I think that guy has any idea what he's talking about.
He doesn't, because he definitely threw a B.
No chance. So Barry back to the forced Anheuser to get up the hill here. That's such a technical shot.
Is so good.
Wow. Yeah, incredible stuff from the two-time champ.
That came out of his hand at the water tower, and he flexed it all the way to the right and then came back.
Yeah, too much turning for Earhart there. As he said, well, at least it goes far.
Yeah. This is the longest 354-foot hole,
Yes.
I think, in the world.
Yes, and an uphill tee, so your footing is bad all the way.
You've got to have some juice on this disc.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
And that could... that is so good.
Juice that had.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like you can't quite plant like you want to throw up this hill. So it's always in your head.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Enforcer for Risley. That's a good recovery after a little bit of a struggle on hole 11.
Yeah, on this stretch where you've really wanted to pick up some holes, he's kind of had some struggles, so that has to feel good for him.
Yep, zone for Earhart. Oh, that's drifted.
Oh, no. Did I go deep OB?
No, that's drifted long. That's brutal. So he's going to be putting for 5 now from the edge of the island here.
The drop zone is really tricky on this hole.
Yes.
You almost feel like you want to early release and throw at the water tower because the basket's so close to the tower.
That's exactly right. Great pickup for Schultz there.
Barry's so good.
Yeah, he really is. Dickerson in for birdie as well.
Nice birdie for Robo Chicken.
And Risley in for birdie, so Brian's going to be all alone in the cold with his 5 there. Everyone else taking 2s.
Here we go. The iconic par 5, hole 13. Water everywhere. You have to clear it on your tee shot. You have rope that is OB left the entire length of the hole once you cross the water. And the drone is going to show you I would say the normal play, the right-handed play
route.
where, the preferred route where you have to throw another hyzer over the water, land where these guys are, and then throw another hyzer out over the water to the basket. That's if you throw with the wrong hand, though.
Yeah. What's your play here? Bunch of forehands?
I do a lot of praying.
I let the disc go and then immediately start praying.
Yeah, look at these flags. Goodness.
Yeah, and if this is a crosswind, then that's not a bad wind for this hole, but that's more of a head crosswind, and that's really difficult to get it up there. On the rocks is safe here, and he gets to take a little bit of extra relief in, so Barry's going to be safe and in a decent position. Is this X1
I believe
for Dickerson?
so, yes.
Very overstable.
He throws X1 on a hyzer and throws it further than most human beings throw like a normal driver.
That's right. This would be loosed at X Enforcer for Risley.
Ooh,
Look at that guy's face on it.
Face on it. It's probably going to fly amazing. Looks like AJ got his pretty shoes in the goose poop, but he's okay.
He's upset. He does have some good-looking kicks. I noticed that earlier. Is this your play, just hyzer on the left?
I do throw a hyzer left of that tree and hope it comes back and sits right there.
Pretty much
like
in
Brian
that
did.
spot.
Yeah, in that spot. Chris throwing his X1 again.
Yeah, and he is... Oh, just catches that tree. That's filtered onto the backside, so he'll have an opportunity, but that's the tree that you want to beat. Wow, Barry playing extremely conservatively on this shot.
Barry played for that kind of little layup spot between the first and second island. AJ looked like he tore his ACL.
Yep. So he slipped as he threw into that tree, and unfortunately went OB as well. Earhart just going with a smooth forehand hyzer.
Showing off that power. Looks like it drifted a little too far left, so his angle may be a little tricky going for the green.
So this is Barry's third after that layup. So he opts for the shorter layup and then a longer approach to kind of the third island where the basket is.
I like that. I like knowing what you're capable of.
That's right.
Okay, so basically right there.
Yeah, with the force you were coming in, it'd be.
So AJ was out of bounds, and he's unfortunately in the middle of these trees as well. This is probably one of those times where you'd want to take your option to go as far back on the line of play as you could to open up a cleaner hyzer, but
with it you being on the water's edge, you just don't know.
Yeah, you have no idea what is there. So AJ's just going to pitch out, throw a big hyzer up to this basket.
He definitely trusted that disc and hung it out wide.
Yeah, and that's not a bad result at all. He's going to be right around circle one's edge, maybe a little bit outside it. So Dickerson is going to be obstructed here, having to throw hyzer. Look at this shot.
Stand still, obstructed.
X1 again.
I think that was actually D1.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure he has a blue D1 the same color.
Gotcha. He's just fooling me 24/7.
Yeah,
here.
no one ever knows.
Yeah, but from a standstill, that's an incredible shot.
Yeah, he has a putt for birdie.
Yeah.
After being essentially in some bushes and not having a run up.
Earhart's played this hole to perfection up until this point. 3 smooth shots to be inside the circle.
Barry almost dunked that.
Yeah, just a nice little touchy floater. And that's another, like we said earlier, if AJ's putt starts on line, most of the time he's going to make it. Not a lot of left-to-right movement, but he pulled that right. Dickerson, oh no.
Oh my gosh, look at that
And
reaction.
he already turned around.
He knew.
Oh, how brutal. Even before it got to the water, he just knew it was going to get to the water.
I asked him about it, and he told me, I didn't want to watch it roll in the water. So
I understand that.
that is a tough break, but when you have all these baskets close to the water, it's definitely possible.
Yep. Great birdie for Earhart on arguably a pretty difficult hole for a lefty.
Yes.
Yeah, and coming back uphill, that's
The
a tough
Dynamic
putt.
Discs Golden Retriever is a fantastic tool for getting your discs back when they've strayed a little too far from dry ground. With a compact design, it fits easily in your bag, so it's always there when you need it. For a little extra confidence next time you're throwing over water, make sure you're covered with a Golden Retriever.
A little bit of a struggle for our card across the board there on hole 13, but moving on to hole 14.
Hole 14, 805 feet, par 4. You have water OB on the right the entire way. You have OB left. There's a string just kind of to the left of this big tree. Keeps you from being able to, get far away from the water. So this hole really makes you throw and test the water's edge quite a bit. Really difficult par 4. Came in averaging 4.27, so averaging over par.
Yeah, and coming in as the 4th most difficult hole on the day. Earhart playing kind of the safer left side here, fading toward the water.
Oh, wow.
And that's a bad bounce. That grass over there is thicker than the rest of the fairway grass, so a lot of times it'll grab those discs.
Yes, seeing that skip was very surprising. You don't expect that.
Barry's was a little bit nose up off of that tree, but he's still safe.
And it looked like he threw a pretty good shot, and he still tested, the OB left.
That's right.
Within a couple feet.
This is a beautiful shot for Dickerson.
H1V2.
Yeah, just over the little ditch right there means that you've got great footing and you're inside 400 of the basket.
It's where you want to be.
Yep. And this is criminal for AJ. He throws hard.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little bit short of that ditch, but still in an attackable angle to the basket.
Yeah, being right-handed, basically anything down towards the bend you can get saucy on this next shot.
That's
if you
right.
Want.
As a lefty, what are you looking to do here?
I think this is another one where I'm praying quite a bit.
Yes.
Brian has a forehand big enough, I believe, to get there off this spot. You've got to have a big forehand, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he has crushed that. That tree up by the basket is maybe 20 or 30 feet outside circle 2, so he's going to be 100 feet away or so.
Correct. If I can get my drive to a spot where Chris is at, then it's an attackable hole, but only there. And
that's going to be so long mango for Risley, as that just never has a chance to come back.
Yeah, he just wanted it too much, it looked like, and just kind of got the angle over.
Chris is certainly in the best position of the bunch.
Absolutely.
Probably one of the best positions all day.
Mm-hmm.
He's come up a little short of where he'd want, but probably right around circle's edge.
Yeah. Through that X1, he just wanted no part of the water.
That's right, and totally understandable, especially after watching AJ's disc not come back at all.
I mean, some of us could say Chris was scared of the water and played away from it, but other people will say, hey, that's smart.
Yeah. I mean, we would probably say he's scared.
I would definitely say he's scared.
Yeah, that's right.
Good play from Brian.
Yeah, not much more to do from there with the green running away left to right, and you're a lefty.
Mm-hmm. Except for throw a sidearm and throw it in, but
you
can't do it every time.
Yeah, not every single time.
Great birdie.
This is a good pickup anytime. Like you said, playing over par on the day.
Yeah, 4th hardest hole on the course.
AJ does the best that he can after throwing OB. He's going to take the bogey. Earhart will take the bogey after the OB tee shot as well.
If you think about it, AJ almost had stroke and distance, so that's a great bogey pickup. Really.
That's exactly right. Yeah, he didn't get to advance hardly at all.
Hole 15, 315 feet, but it plays longer. It's all uphill.
Yes.
You have this big tree on the right and a mando, so it forces everyone to throw left, and it's either like a lefty backhand dream or righty sidearm or turnover. And like I said, it probably plays more like 350 than 315.
Yeah, and an angle that has to hold all the way as the green slopes from right to left. You said this was M3 from Dickerson?
M3, yes.
And that's pretty much picture perfect.
Yeah. And you could tell Chris threw that a lot harder than 315 feet of power.
Yes. You think leopard here for Barry?
Barry wants it to hold. I think
maybe
leopard or savant is a good guess. One of those two.
So circle 2 for Schultz. And like you said, this is a lefty dream. So here's Earhart with a smooth hyzer.
Turn around, walk away.
Yep.
AJ instructing him to turn around and walk away.
Whatever you say, officer. Do you know what AJ's throwing here?
I think that's Explorer.
He liked it.
I think it's a Gold Line Explorer, and that's way up there. Great spot for Risley.
So 3 inside circle 1 and Barry from circle 2, and that disappeared in the clouds.
It's a good-looking putt for Schultz. He's going to miss a little bit right and long. And Risley disappointed with the effort, but I have to say, for someone who's having
Everyone loved Chris's birdie. He waved to the crowd.
Hey, thank you guys. Hey, I did it.
Thank you.
Thanks to InfiniteDiscs.com, this presenting sponsor of Pro Worlds this year. That cheering was for Kevin Jones throwing in for Eagle 2 on hole 14.
Yeah. I was on hole 18.
Yeah, that hole that we saw only one birdie on.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
yeah,
Chris thought it was for him. He was wrong. It was for Kevin.
He's like, oh, of course they're cheering for me. Hole 16, par 4, a little over 600 feet. You have OB left the entire way. This kind of low ceiling pinched tee shot. And you're going to see backhand rollers quite a bit, and you're going to see this turnover play.
And not a bad angle for Chris, and that's a good little bit of a punch out.
Absolutely. Brian wants this lower.
That kind of looked like a nuke from Earhart, so he's trying to get some good distance on that.
Yeah, I think he was trying to pump it. It looks like they had a little bit of a tailwind right here. Surprised we haven't seen a roller yet.
Yeah. roller's a great play for this hole. It may be a little too windy for them to feel confident.
Yeah, it's an aggressive play, but
I think this is one of the easiest par 4s on the course, which is saying something because it's not an easy hole.
right. I wouldn't disagree with you because you don't have to throw your tee shot that far to be able to attack the green.
So as AJ was walking away, as he watched his disc fade out of bounds, he said, well, guess we'll try again next year. Like I said, for someone who's having a difficult round, I think AJ is controlling his emotions very well. It's super easy to get really frustrated, and this course will do that to you.
Oh, Barry.
Barry getting aggressive.
Oh, don't miss the tree.
Look at
Oh, my
okay,
goodness.
still it's a fighter.
Roller coaster of emotions. Again, he's like, thank you. Chris going really flippy PA4.
Yeah, starting that on hyzer out to the left and working it back right. That's crested the hill. So he's going to be in circle 2. This is deputy for Risley, and that was overturned from the get. Circle 2, but a downhill putt, not an easy look.
Yeah, tough one to run.
Barry's third, real touchy, just over the hill. Pretty much perfect.
That's either a really old regular AVR or KC.
Yeah.
I know he likes both.
And long right for AJ. Long left for Dickerson.
Chris with the weird layup to the left.
Yeah, you're going to want to make that, ideally. Earhart in for Bert.
Brian with a great birdie. I
making
feel
it
like
happen.
Brian went out of position.
Birdie.
Jams the good putt, birdie.
And that's a really good pickup for AJ. That got quite a ways past the basket.
Good comeback for par.
Yeah, that's a good one to get. Right-handed putters playing with that slope away from the basket, it's hard to get really aggressive.
Now we have hole 17, the island hole, 300 feet. All this water you don't want to throw in it. It's OB. And then you get across here to the green, and you have probably about 35 feet from front to back of inbounds and about 70 feet across.
Yep.
That is all that's inbounds.
It's remove the water and the OB long, and nearly every person in the field is inside. Oh, Earhart's just a little bit long.
He threw his putter long.
Yeah. Nearly everybody is inside that area of land. But with the water and the OB long in play, it just messes with you mentally.
Yes. It came in averaging 2.98
Right.
on the first day, and so for a 300-foot par 3 to average almost par, there's some teeth.
Yeah. Great shot for Dickerson, and this is a good shape for Schultz.
Oh, yeah.
Just over the edge. He's in a prime position to collect birdie. And this is barred for Risley. Needs to miss those poles on the dock. We've seen those destroy some lives.
We have seen those before. Those are dream shatterers right there. Jammed that. So straight. So good.
Risley giving a few affirming nods to the gallery like, yeah, I did that. That's going to be bogey for Earhart after his drop zone shot. Birdie for Dickerson, and Barry's going to be closest to the bunch.
Yeah, a couple of tap-ins for those guys.
I feel like that's kind of a standard card, 3 birdies and somebody missing and gets a bogey.
It almost feels like it's birdie or bogey.
Yes.
Hole 18, par 4, 711 feet. OB water on the left the entire way. You're going to want to throw your tee shot straight and far, and then kind of pick your gap on this second shot. I think we'll see Brian probably go out over the water on the left the entire way on the second shot. It's really tough. You've got a right to left slope green, and really difficult birdie to pick up at the end.
H3 again for Dickerson?
I think somewhere along those lines. I don't know if Chris tries to attack this hole or not.
Barry's trying to attack this hole. That's a good-looking roller. Probably a little too much wind that's pushing it up to the right, because if that hangs on edge, that can get so far down there, and you can just have maybe putter in. AJ's going roller as well. This is his Havoc, and that is a pristine
so
angle.
Good. Oh,
Wow,
my.
look how far this is going.
Are you kidding me?
Wow, what a shot.
It's like a 500-foot roller.
Yeah,
That was
easy.
so good. And the wind was pushing it the whole way. Oh, Brian goes. Okay.
He goes hyzer off the box.
I did not know that.
Way out over the water with his Zeus.
And oh my goodness.
He's going to have another one of those.
He's going to do it again.
That's the spot you want to be.
He told us. According to Brian, that's the spot you want to be.
I didn't know that was a play.
So we're learning stuff on the fly. Caught
Caught-
a tree a little short.
But I guess Dickerson doesn't seem like the type of guy who would throw a shot if he hadn't practiced it quite a bit.
Yeah.
So he had to have known that was there. So Zeus off the box for Earhart, and this is Force over the water. Coming in nicely. A little bit uphill of the basket.
Yeah, he sawed it off a little.
Yeah. Kind of a scary putt going back for sure.
Barry showing off the standstill game. Patent pending.
Yeah, Barry, one of the guys who, you know, we're trying to still figure out who came up with the patent pending
Right.
stance.
We don't
Because
know if
Barry
it's him
says he
or
did
Kenny.
it, and Kenny says he did. And AJ said, I parked it.
Yeah, it was like, hey, cool birdie.
Good shot for Dickerson, well inside the circle.
Barry just taking that par. He's happy to walk away with a solid round.
So Earhart's going to give that kind of a half-hearted run. There's not much more to do
No.
with the wind up and water behind. So Risley's going to birdie the last and finish at 5 over.
Good for AJ to pick up the last two at the end of a rough round. You know, he really battled back.
Yeah, so that's going to be a couple rounds of 5 under for Barry and Chris. Those are going to come in unofficially rated at 1042. So some pretty solid golf. Unfortunately, the leader's sitting at 12 under par.
Yeah, so they got some work to do.
Shout out to Emerson Keith for shredding a 1091 first round. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for our first round of coverage here at the PDGA Disc Golf Pro World Championships. We hope that you'll join us tomorrow when we can bring you some action from Northwood Gold. Beautiful course. If you haven't subscribed already, please do that. Ring that bell for notifications, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys.